Uncle Jim was the kind of man who thought asking about people's careers was polite dinner conversation. He waited until everyone had finished their pie, until the coffee was poured and the table had that satisfied, sluggish feeling that comes after too much turkey. Then he leaned back in his chair, patted his stomach, and said what he said every year. "So, how's everyone doing career-wise?" I was sitting at the far end of the table. 25 people crammed into my parents' dining room. Aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. The annual Thanksgiving performance where we all pretended to be a functional family for 6 hours. I hadn't been to one of these in 2 years. Work had been a convenient excuse. Big project, I'd say. Can't get away. Which was true, technically. I just hadn't mentioned that I was the one leading the project. Uncle Jim started with my brother, Ryan, always the favorite. "You got that promotion, right?" Ryan nodded, trying to look humble but clearly pleased. "Yeah, senior accountant now. Congrats. Good money?" "Can't complain." Uncle Jim beamed like he'd personally trained Ryan in accounting. Then he turned to my cousin Derek. "And you're still at Tech Central?" Derek straightened up. "Yep, 5 years now. Made project manager last spring." "Love it. Solid company. Great benefits, I hear." "Yeah, they treat us well." I sipped my coffee. Waited. I knew what was coming. Uncle Jim's eyes found me at the end of the table. That slight pause, that microscopic hesitation that said he was trying to remember what disappointment I'd been carrying around last time he'd bothered to ask. "What about you, Alex? Still working that retail job?" The table didn't exactly go quiet. People were still talking in clusters. My sister was showing someone photos on her phone. Dad was refilling wine glasses. But the people close enough to hear Uncle Jim's question went still. I set down my coffee cup carefully. "No, left that in 2019. Uncle Jim's eyebrows went up. "Oh? Where are you now?" "Corporate, tech sector." "Doing what exactly?" "Regional director." Now the table actually went quiet. Uncle Jim blinked, smiled like I'd made a joke. "Regional director of what?" "Operations, West Coast territory." My cousin Derek, who'd been reaching for more pie, froze. His fork hovered midair. "Which company?" he asked. His voice had changed. Gone careful. I pulled out my wallet. The motion was deliberate. Slow. I found my business card, slid it across the table to Derek. He picked it up. Read it. His face did this thing where the color just drained out completely. "This is..." He looked at the card again. "This is Nextech Solutions." "Yep." "You work at Nextech?" "For 5 years now." Derek stared at the card like it might bite him. Uncle Jim leaned over. "What's wrong?" Derek showed him. Uncle Jim's eyes widened. "That's..." Uncle Jim started. "Our competitor," Derek finished quietly. "Nextech is my company's main competitor. They're bigger than us. They're who we lose contracts to." My father's fork hit his plate. The sound cut through the room like a gunshot. Everyone turned to look. Derek was still staring at the card. "Regional director?" "Yeah." "West Coast?" "Yeah." He looked up at me. Really looked at me. Like he was seeing me for the first time. That's like C-suite adjacent. More or less. "How many people report to you?" "Directly, 12 managers. Indirectly, about 400. His mouth actually fell open. I watched it happen. Watched his brain trying to process. "I'm a project manager," he said slowly. "I report to a senior manager, who reports to a director, who reports to a regional director." "Okay. You're 4 levels above me, in the organizational hierarchy. Different companies," I said. "But yeah, similar structure." Uncle Jim had recovered enough to ask, "What's the pay for something like that?" I didn't answer, just took another sip of coffee. Derek answered for me. His voice was flat, shocked. "Regional directors at my company make about 250,000 base, plus performance bonuses, plus stock options." The table had gone completely silent now. Even the side conversations had stopped. My sister had put her phone down. Dad had frozen mid-pour, wine bottle hovering over someone's glass. My mother spoke first. Her voice was small. Since when? Since last March. I was senior manager before that. And before that? Manager. Before that, associate. Started entry level in 2019 right after I finished my MBA. Dad set the wine bottle down. Carefully. You've been in corporate for 5 years? Yeah? And you never mentioned it? Didn't come up. My sister, Emma, leaned forward. How does that not come up? You never asked. We ask how you're doing all the time. You ask if I'm still at that retail job. I say no. You move on. The silence that followed was different. Heavier. Ryan was staring at me. Emma looked confused. Mom's face had gone red. My brother spoke carefully. You said no to the retail question? Every time, for 5 years. And we never followed up? Nope. Uncle Jim tried to recover. That's what Uncle Jim did. Smooth things over, make everything comfortable again. Well, we just assumed that I was still struggling, I finished for him. Still in retail, still figuring it out. We didn't mean, you did. That's exactly what you meant. That's why you phrase it that way. Still working that retail job? Not, where are you working now? Not, how's your career going? Just an assumption that nothing had changed. That nothing could change. Derek was still holding my business card. He flipped it over, examining the back. This has your direct line, your email. Yeah. I could have reached out. For networking, for advice. Hell, for a referral. You could have. But I didn't know you were there. Because you never asked what I do. You just assumed retail. He set the card down, pushed it back toward me. I'm an idiot. You're not an idiot. You just didn't care enough to ask. That landed hard. I could see it in his face. Dad had been quiet through all of this. Now he spoke, his voice tight. So you've been making, what, 200,000 plus? For how long? Salary increases with each promotion. But yeah, comfortable for a few years now. And you let us think you were making $15 an hour? You thought that. I never said that. You just never asked what I actually made? Mom's voice cracked. Why would you hide this from us? I didn't hide it. You just never asked the right questions. Or any questions, really. That's ridiculous. Last Thanksgiving, 2 years ago, you gave me a $50 Visa gift card. For groceries, you said. Since money's tight. Her face went from red to pale. I was trying to help. I was already senior manager by then, making $180,000 a year. But you assumed I was broke. You assumed I was failing. So you gave me grocery money. You never corrected me. Why would I? You'd already decided who I was, what I was. Correcting you would have just turned into a whole thing. A whole thing? Emma's voice was sharp. You let Mom give you charity when you were making more than Dad? I looked at my father. He was staring at the table. Am I making more than you? He didn't answer. Which was an answer. I wasn't trying to embarrass anyone, I said quietly. I just stopped trying to convince you all that I was okay, that I wasn't drowning. It was easier to let you assume. Ryan, my brother, looked like he was doing math in his head. Hold on, you're regional director? Yeah. I just got promoted to senior accountant. I was so proud of that. I called Mom the day I found out. You should be proud. It's a good promotion. But you're like executive level. More or less. How did this happen? MBA, hard work, promotions, same as anyone. When did you get your MBA? Finished 5 years ago? Emma's voice was barely above a whisper. We didn't even know you were in school. Night program. Took 3 years while I was working retail. Full-time job during the day, classes 4 nights a week, homework on weekends. You never mentioned it. You never noticed I was busy. You never asked why I couldn't make Sunday dinners or why I was always tired. Derek had his phone out now. He was typing, searching. His face kept changing as he scrolled. I just Googled you, he said. Okay. You're listed on Nextech's leadership page. There's a photo. your title, your bio. Everyone leaned in. Derek turned his phone so others could see. There's a press release from last year, he kept scrolling, about you leading a $40 million expansion project. The number hung in the air. 40 million. Uncle Jim's voice was weak. You managed a $40 million project? West Coast expansion. Opened 4 new regional offices. Hired about 200 people. Took 18 months. That's... Uncle Jim seemed unable to finish the sentence. It was a lot of work, I said simply. Derek was still scrolling. His face had gone from pale to something else. Something like awe or horror or both. There's an industry article. Top 40 under 40 in tech operations. You're number 22. Dad stood up, walked over to Derek, looked at the phone, read whatever was there, then sat back down without saying anything. The silence stretched, uncomfortable, heavy. I could hear someone's watch ticking, someone else's breathing. Mom put her face in her hands. That gift card. Yeah? I gave it to you because I thought you needed help. I thought you were struggling. I know. And you were making 180 that year. Yes. I feel like an idiot. You're not an idiot. You just assumed. You all did. And I let you. But why didn't you tell us? I set down my coffee cup, looked at her, really looked at her. Because if I told you, you'd want to be involved. You'd ask questions, give advice I didn't need, make comparisons to Ryan and Emma, turn it into a thing, turn it into competition, turn it into something about you. It was easier to just let you think what you wanted. We're your family. You're people who thought I worked retail for 7 years, who never asked follow-up questions, who gave me grocery money when I was making 6 figures. That's what you are. The words came out flat. Not angry, just factual. Which somehow made them worse. Uncle Jim cleared his throat. Can I keep this card? Sure. I have a friend. He's looking to switch companies. Tech sector. Could I give him your info? I looked at him for a long moment. Why? For networking. You could help him. Could I? Or could he help you look well connected? What? No, Is he actually looking for a job? Or are you just trying to use my position now that you know about it? Uncle Jim didn't answer. I reached across the table. Derek handed me the business card. I gave it to Uncle Jim. Call if you want. Email works too. But don't pretend you cared about my career before today. Don't pretend you knew. You didn't. Because you never asked. I stood up. Thanks for dinner, Mom. Turkey was great. Alex, wait. I've got some emails to catch up on. Early meeting tomorrow. Neither of those things was true. But they didn't know that. They didn't know anything. I grabbed my coat from the hall closet. Jordan, my partner, appeared from the living room where they'd been watching football with the younger cousins. They took one look at my face and grabbed their coat without a word. In the car, I pulled out my phone, checked emails. Nothing urgent. But the motion was familiar. Comforting. My phone buzzed. Text from Derek. Hey, I'm sorry. For assuming. For not asking. That was messed up. I typed back. Thanks. Another text. Can I actually reach out? For real networking? Not the fake Uncle Jim stuff. I'd genuinely like to learn about your path. Maybe grab coffee? I stared at the message. Thought about all the family dinners, all the assumptions, all the years of being invisible. Sure, email me Monday. Jordan looked over. You okay? I don't know. Ask me tomorrow. That was brutal. Yeah. Feel good? I thought about it. About Derek's face. About the gift card. About Uncle Jim's assumptions. About my mother's hands over her face. Not good, but necessary. They really had no idea? None? And the crazy part? I told them. 5 years ago when I left retail. I got a new job. Nobody asked where. 3 years ago when I got promoted to manager. Work's going well. Nobody asked details. Last year when I made director. Big promotion. Nobody asked what. They just assumed you were still struggling. Yeah? We drove in silence for a while. My phone buzzed again, and again, and again. I turned it face down without looking. Group chat? Jordan asked. Probably. You going to look? Eventually, not tonight. When we got home, I finally checked. The family group chat had exploded. 47 messages. Mom. Why didn't you tell us? Dad. We're proud of you, but confused. Emma. This is a lot to process. Ryan. Congrats, I guess. Feels weird to say it now. Uncle Jim. I wasn't trying to use you. I genuinely didn't know. More messages. Everyone processing. Everyone confused. Everyone defending themselves. I muted the chat without responding. One more text came through. Derek again. Not in the group chat. Private message. I looked up regional director salaries at my company. Total compensation with bonus and stock is usually between 350 and 400K. You're probably making close to that. Maybe more. I didn't respond. Another message. We've been treating you like you're broke for years. That's screwed up. I typed back. Yeah. For what it's worth, I'm going to ask more questions about everyone, not just you. I realized today I don't actually know anyone in this family. Good. Jordan came over with 2 beers, handed me one. You going to be okay? Yeah, I think so. What happens now? I don't know. They'll probably call. Want to talk? Try to make sense of it. Are you going to talk to them? I thought about it. About 5 years of assumptions. About grocery money and pitying looks. About being invisible until I wasn't. Maybe, eventually. But not because they want answers. Only if they're willing to ask better questions. Monday morning, 9 a.m. I was 3 emails into my day when a new message popped up. From Derek. MorrisonTechCentral.com. Subject, coffee. This week? Hey, I know Thanksgiving was weird, but I'd genuinely like to learn about your career path. Not for favors or connections, just to understand how you got where you are. Coffee this week if you're free? Professional, polite, no family pressure, no Uncle Jim undertones. I responded, Thursday, 10 a.m., my office. Gave him the address. Nextech Solutions headquarters. Downtown. 15th floor. His reply came back in 2 minutes. See you then. The family group chat had gone quiet after the initial explosion. 47 messages that first night, then nothing. Like they'd all said their piece and were now waiting for me to respond. I didn't. Tuesday, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Alex, honey, we need to talk about Thanksgiving. I don't understand why you didn't tell us. We're your family. We love you. Please call me back. I deleted it. Wednesday, Dad texted. Your mother is upset. Whatever point you were trying to make, you made it. Time to move on. I didn't respond. Thursday morning, Derek showed up at 9:55 a.m. Early, professional. He gave his name to reception and they called up to my assistant. Mr. Morrison is here for your 10 o'clock. Send him up. I met him at the elevator. He stepped out, looked around at the office, glass walls, modern furniture, the kind of space that screamed money and success. This is nice, he said. Thanks. Conference rooms this way. I led him past cubicles and offices. My team was already at work. Sarah was on a call. Marcus was reviewing budgets. Chen was arguing with someone in legal about contract terms. Derek took it all in. How many people on this floor? About 60. We've got 3 floors total in this building. 200 people here. Rest are distributed across the other regional offices. We reached the conference room. I closed the door, gestured to a chair. Coffee? Water? Coffee, black. I poured 2 cups from the pot my assistant had set up. Sat down across from him. Derek wrapped his hands around the mug, looked at me. I don't know where to start. Start with why you're here. Because I spent 5 years seeing you at family stuff and thinking you were stuck in retail. And now I find out you're 4 levels above me at a competitor company. And I feel like an idiot. You're not an idiot. I am, though. I'm supposed to be good at reading people. It's literally part of my job, and I completely missed that you were succeeding. You saw what you expected to see. Everyone did. That's not an excuse. No, but it's an explanation. He took a sip of coffee. Can I ask you something? Sure. When did you decide to stop telling us? I leaned back, thought about it. There wasn't one moment. It was gradual. I'd mention something about work and get blank stares. Or someone would change the subject. After a while, I realized nobody was actually listening, so I stopped talking. What about the MBA? That's huge. 3 years of night school. I told Mom I was taking some classes. She said, "That's nice," and asked if I was still dating that girl from college. We'd broken up 2 years earlier. Derek winced. I told Dad I was thinking about grad school. He said, "Maybe you should focus on getting a real job first." He said that? Yeah, I was 26, working retail. In his mind, I was wasting my life. The MBA seemed like more wasting. But you did it anyway. Yeah, finished with a 3.8 GPA. Nobody asked to see my diploma. Nobody came to graduation. Did you invite them? No, because I knew they wouldn't come. Or they'd come and make it about them. Oh, look at Alex finally doing something with his life. I didn't want that. Derek set down his coffee. I need you to know something. When I saw that business card, when I realized you were at Nextech, I felt sick. Why? Because I've spent years networking, going to industry events, trying to meet people at companies like yours. And you were sitting at the Thanksgiving table the whole time. Right there. And I never asked. Would you have cared if I was still in retail? He opened his mouth, closed it. Probably not. There it is. That's messed up. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know you are. No, I mean, I'm actually sorry. Not sorry I got caught. Sorry. Like genuinely, I should have been a better cousin, a better person. I studied his face. He meant it. I could see it. Okay, I said. Is there any way to fix this? You're here. That's a start. He nodded slowly. Tell me about the MBA. How'd you balance everything? So I told him. About working 40 hours a week at the electronics store, about night classes 4 times a week, about homework on the train, about sleeping 4 hours a night for 3 years, about the professors who became mentors, about the one who recommended me for my first corporate interview. Derek listened, really listened, asked questions, took mental notes. What was the interview like for Nextech? Terrifying. They interviewed 8 candidates for one entry-level position, 3 rounds, case studies, presentations. I thought I bombed it. But you didn't. No, they said I had the best strategic thinking, that I saw problems differently. How? From the bottom up. Most MBA grads think top down. Big picture first, but I'd worked retail. I knew what it was like on the ground. I could see where systems broke and why. That makes sense. They hired me at $58,000. I thought I'd won the lottery. Derek laughed. Now you make a lot more. How much exactly? Base salary is $270. Performance bonus is usually around $80. Stock options vest over 4 years. Last year they were worth about $60,000. So total comp is around $410. His coffee stopped halfway to his mouth. Jesus Christ. It's good money. It's insane money. It's what regional directors make. You said yourself your company pays similar. Yeah, but hearing the actual number, he set down the cup. We really gave you a $50 gift card. You didn't. Mom did. Still, the whole family just assumed you were broke. Can I tell you something? Yeah. That gift card wasn't even the worst part. It was the pity, the way Mom handed it to me. For groceries, honey. We know money's tight, like I was a charity case. What did you do with it? Donated it. There's a food bank near my apartment. Figured someone actually needed it. Derek put his head in his hands. We're awful. You're not awful. You're just not curious. There's a difference. I want to be curious. I want to actually know you. Then ask questions, real ones, not how's work? Ask what I'm working on. Ask what challenges I'm facing. Ask what I learned this week. Okay, what are you working on right now? I smiled. First real smile of the conversation. We're negotiating a merger with a smaller company, Southeast region. If it goes through, we'll add another 200 employees and expand into 3 new states. How big is the deal? 75 million. And you're leading it? Me and the CFO. I handle operations integration. He handles financial due diligence. That's incredible. It's terrifying. But yeah, it's good. We talked for another hour. About work, about leadership, about the difference between managing people and managing systems, about the projects that had failed and what I'd learned from them. At the end, Derek stood up, extended his hand. Thank you for being honest, for not kicking me out. I shook it. Thanks for showing up. Can we do this again? Like, actually stay in touch? Yeah, I'd like that. Not as family obligation, as actual friends. Even better. He left. I watched him wait for the elevator. Saw him look around the office one more time before stepping in. My assistant, Kim, appeared in the doorway. How'd it go? Better than expected. Good. Your 2 o'clock is here early. Conference room B. Back to work. Back to the world that knew me. That valued me. That asked questions. That night, Jordan asked how the coffee went. He apologized. For real. You believe him? Yeah, I think I do. What about the rest of them? Nothing. Mom called. Dad texted. I didn't respond. Are you going to? I thought about it. Maybe, but they need to sit with this for a while. They need to actually think about what they did. Not just apologize because I'm successful now. Fair. My phone buzzed. Text from Derek. Hey, told my wife about our conversation. She wants to know if you and Jordan want to come over for dinner sometime. No family, no agenda, just the 4 of us. I showed Jordan. They smiled. That's nice. I typed back, let me check our schedule, but yeah, we'd like that. Another text from Derek. Also, I need to say this. I Googled top 40 under 40 earlier. Read the whole article about you. It talked about the expansion project, about your leadership style, about how your team has the lowest turnover in the company. I had no idea. None of us did. And we should have. I didn't know what to say to that. So I just sent, thanks. The family group chat stayed quiet for 3 more days. Then, on Sunday, Emma broke the silence. Are we going to talk about Thanksgiving? Or just pretend it didn't happen? Ryan. What's there to talk about? Alex made his point. Emma. The point being that we're terrible? Ryan. I mean, kind of yeah. Mom. That's not fair. Emma. Mom, he was making 6 figures and you gave him grocery money. That's pretty bad. Mom. I was trying to help. Emma. But you didn't ask if he needed help. You just assumed. The chat went quiet again. I watched the conversation happen. Didn't participate. Jordan looked over my shoulder. You going to say anything? Not yet. When? When they stop defending themselves and start actually listening. 2 weeks later, Derek and I met for coffee again. This time at a place near his office. He brought printouts, articles about career development, questions he'd written down. I've been thinking about my path, about whether I'm where I want to be. And? I don't know. I like my job, but I don't love it. And watching you talk about your work, you clearly love it. Not every day, but yeah, most days. How'd you know it was right? I didn't. I just kept trying things until something fit. The MBA helped. It opened doors. But the real growth came from being willing to fail, to try things that scared me. Like the $40 million project? Exactly like that. I thought I'd screw it up, thought they'd fire me halfway through, but I had a good team, and we figured it out. Did your family ever ask about it? About the project? No, because they didn't know I was working on it. They didn't know I had that job at all. Derek shook his head. I still can't believe we missed 5 years. It's not about the years. It's about the pattern. The assumption that I'd always be struggling, that I couldn't succeed without their help or approval. Do you think they get that now? Some of them. Maybe. Emma seems to. You do. The rest? I shrugged. Time will tell. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. Can we please talk? I miss you. I stared at it for a long moment. Derek saw my face. Your mom? Yeah. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. I called Mom 3 weeks after Thanksgiving. Not because I'd forgiven her. Not because the anger had faded. But because the silence was starting to feel performative. Like I was making a point just to make it. She answered on the first ring. Alex? Hey, Mom. Silence. Then a shaky breath. I didn't think you'd call. I wasn't sure I would either. Can we talk? Really talk? That's why I called. More silence. I could hear her trying to compose herself. I'm sorry, she said finally. For the gift card. For assuming. For not asking about your life. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say? I don't know. That you forgive me? That we can move past this? I leaned back in my office chair, looked out the window at the city below. I don't know if I forgive you yet, but I'm willing to talk. That's something. Can I ask you a question? Of course. Why didn't you ask? When I said I left retail, why didn't you ask where I went? She was quiet for a long moment. I think I assumed it was another retail job, or maybe something temporary. You'd had so many jobs before. I thought this was just another stepping stone. For 5 years? I wasn't keeping track of the timeline, I had this picture of you in my head. And it didn't update. What picture? That you were struggling, that you needed help, that you were trying to figure things out but hadn't quite gotten there yet. And when did that picture form? I don't know. College, maybe? When you changed your major? When you took that year off? I started worrying about you then. I changed my major once, from computer science to business. And I didn't take a year off. I worked retail to save money for grad school. Oh. Her voice got smaller. I remembered it differently. You remembered wrong. And then you built a whole narrative around the wrong memory. I'm sorry. I know you are. But sorry doesn't fix 5 years of being invisible. You weren't invisible. Mom, you gave me grocery money when I was making 180. That's pretty invisible. She didn't argue. Couldn't argue. Can I see you? She asked. In person? Just coffee. Just us. Not yet. I'm not ready for that. When will you be ready? I don't know. Maybe never. We'll see. I hung up before she could respond, felt bad about it for exactly 3 seconds. Then went back to work. Derek and I had dinner with our partners 2 weeks later. His wife, Marina, was a nurse. Sharp, funny, no nonsense. She and Jordan hit it off immediately. Over pasta and wine, Marina said, Derek told me about Thanksgiving, about the business card. I made him read me the whole story twice because I couldn't believe it. Believe what? Jordan asked. That a whole family could miss someone succeeding that much. Like, how do you not notice? They noticed what they wanted to notice, I said. Ryan's promotions, Emma's achievements, my failure to thrive. Except you were thriving. In silence, which was easier than dealing with their opinions. Marina turned to Derek. Did you really think he was still in retail? I did, for years. I'd see him at holidays and think, poor Alex still stuck at that dead-end job. And then I'd go back to my life and forget about him until the next holiday. That's brutal. It is, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. Jordan squeezed my hand under the table. The best part? They still don't really get it. Emma called yesterday asking if Alex could help her boyfriend get a job. Like we're a networking service now. Marina laughed. What did you say? That if her boyfriend wanted help, he could email Alex directly with his resume and a real ask, not go through family channels like it's some backdoor favor system. Did he email? Nope, which tells me he didn't actually want the job. He wanted the connection. The conversation moved on. Work stories, relationship stories, normal friend stuff. It felt good, easy, real. At the end of the night, as we were saying goodbye, Marina hugged me. I'm glad Derek pulled his head out of his ass. You seem like good people. Thanks, you too. Derek drove us home. In the car, Jordan said, I like them. Me too. Think you'll stay in touch? Yeah, I think so. What about the rest of your family? I thought about Mom's call, about Emma's boyfriend, about the group chat that occasionally flared to life with someone asking if I was coming to Christmas. I don't know. Derek's different. He actually changed. The rest of them just feel bad. Feeling bad isn't the same as doing better. No, it's not. Christmas came. I didn't go, sent a polite text declining. No explanation, no excuse. Just, I won't be there this year. The responses varied. Mom, please reconsider. It won't be the same without you. Dad, your choice, but we'll miss you. Emma, okay, but you're being kind of dramatic. Ryan, fair enough. See you next year, maybe. Derek, we're doing Christmas at our place. You and Jordan are welcome if you change your mind. No family drama, just food and bad movies. We went to Derek's. Marina made ham. We played board games, watched terrible holiday films. It was the best Christmas I'd had in years. 6 months passed. I got promoted. VP of Operations. The announcement went out company-wide. My name on the leadership page moved up. My salary jumped to $320 base, plus bonuses that would probably hit $150. I didn't tell my family, figured they'd find out eventually. Or not. Didn't really matter. Derek found out because he followed Nextech's press releases. Sent me a text with the headline, "Holy cow, VP? Yeah? How old are you again?" 34. VP at 34, that's insane. It's a lot of responsibility. You want to celebrate? Dinner? Drinks? Sure, bring Marina. We met at a nice restaurant. Expensive. The kind of place I could afford now without checking my bank account first. Derek ordered champagne, made a toast. To my cousin who's smarter than all of us combined, and who we were too stupid to notice. Marina raised her glass. To proving everyone wrong by succeeding anyway. Jordan, to being too busy building something real to care about their opinions. I clinked glasses with all of them. To finding actual family in unexpected places. The champagne was good. The food was better. The company was best. My phone buzzed during dessert. A call. Mom. I declined it. 2 minutes later, a text. I saw the announcement. VP, why didn't you tell me? I showed Jordan. They raised an eyebrow. You going to respond? Not tonight. When? When she asked about the job itself, not about why I didn't tell her. The next day, another text from Mom. I'm proud of you. I wish I'd known sooner, but I'm proud. Better. Not perfect, but better. I responded, thanks. Emma called that night. VP? Seriously? Yeah. You're younger than me, and you're a VP. Different industries, different timelines. Still, it's impressive. Thanks. Are you ever going to forgive us? For Thanksgiving? For all of it? I don't know. Ask me in a year. That's fair. For what it's worth, I've been thinking about it. About how we treated you. I talked to my therapist about it. Your therapist? Yeah. I started going after Thanksgiving. Realized I had some stuff to work through. About competition, about family dynamics, about needing to be better than you to feel valuable. Emma, let me finish. I realized I was relieved when I thought you were struggling, because it meant I was ahead, and that's messed up. I'm working on it. Okay. But I wanted you to know, I'm trying, like actually trying. I appreciate that. Can we get coffee sometime? Just us? Maybe. Let me think about it. That's more than I deserve. Thanks. 1 year after Thanksgiving, Derek texted, dinner at our place Sunday, hosting a few friends. You and Jordan should come. We went. Met Derek's friend circle, other couples, some with kids. Everyone was normal, kind. No one asked intrusive questions or made assumptions. Halfway through the evening, Marina pulled me aside. Thanks for giving Derek another chance. He's different now. Asks better questions, pays more attention. He did the work. You gave him the opportunity. Not everyone would. He showed up. That's all I needed. Is anyone else from your family showing up? Emma's trying. Mom calls sometimes. Dad and Ryan mostly stay quiet. That's hard. It's honest, which is better than pretending. 2 years after Thanksgiving, I went to Emma's birthday dinner. Small group. Her friends, Marina and Derek. Me and Jordan. Emma introduced me to people as her cousin, told them I was a VP at a tech company. Didn't make it weird, didn't inflate it, just stated it as fact. At the end of the night, she hugged me. Thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me. Think we can do this more? Normal family stuff without the drama? Maybe, let's see how it goes. Fair enough? Mom still called occasionally, asked about work, actually listened to the answers. We weren't close, probably never would be. But we were honest, which was something. Dad and I exchanged texts on birthdays. Brief, polite, distant. Ryan and I barely talked. No animosity, just nothing much to say. The rest of the family? Christmas cards. That's it. And I was okay with that. Because I'd learned something important. You can't make people see you. You can only live your life and let them decide if they want to pay attention. Some of them did. Derek, Emma, Marina. People who chose to show up. The rest stayed comfortable in their assumptions. And that was their loss, not mine. Present day. 3 years after that Thanksgiving. I'm 37 now. Still VP of Operations. Still at Nextech. My team has grown to 800 people across 6 states. Last year we closed a $120 million acquisition. This year we're on track to open 3 new regional hubs. My salary is $450 base. Total comp with bonuses and stock hits around $600,000. And my family still doesn't really understand what I do. Derek does. We have coffee every month. His kids call me Uncle Alex. Marina and Jordan are genuine friends. They're the family I chose. Emma and I text occasionally. See each other maybe 3 times a year. It's cordial, friendly, but not close. We're working on it. Slowly. Mom calls every few weeks. We talk about surface things. Her garden. My work projects. She asks questions now, real questions. But there's still this gap between us. This space where 5 years of silence lives. Dad and I had lunch 6 months ago. First time in years. He apologized, said he should have paid more attention, should have asked better questions. I accepted it. But we both knew it was too late to rebuild what we never really had. Ryan and I are polite strangers. We follow each other on LinkedIn, react to each other's posts. That's about it. The rest of the family? They know what I do now. Some of them are impressed. Some of them are weird about it. Uncle Jim tried to connect me with his friend 3 more times. I ignored all 3 requests. Last month, I got invited to speak at a conference. Tech Leadership Summit. Big deal in the industry. 2,000 attendees. I mentioned it to Derek over coffee. He got excited. That's huge. Are you nervous? Terrified. What are you speaking about? Building teams that actually want to stay. Retention strategies for high-growth companies. That's literally your expertise. You'll kill it. We'll see. The day of the conference, Jordan came with me, sat in the front row. Derek and Marina drove 3 hours to attend. Emma texted that morning, "Good luck today. Wish I could be there." I didn't tell anyone else. The talk went well. Better than well. People laughed at my jokes, took notes during the serious parts. The Q&A went 20 minutes over because people kept asking questions. Afterward, a woman approached me. Mid-50s, confident. That was excellent. I'm Rebecca Chen, CEO of DataStream Solutions. We're looking for a COO. Would you be interested in talking? I gave her my card. Happy to talk. No promises. No promises needed. Just a conversation. Derek found me afterward, grinning. Dude, that was incredible. You had them eating out of your hand. It was okay. It was better than okay. People were taking photos of your slides. That's how you know it was good. Marina hugged me. I'm so proud of you, and I barely know you. Your actual family must be losing their minds. They don't know about it, she pulled back. What? I didn't tell them. Why not? Because if I tell them, They'll make it about them. They'll show up and act proud and post about it on Facebook. And I didn't want that. I wanted this to be mine. Derek's smile faded. You're still doing it. Doing what? Keeping them out, even 3 years later. Is that wrong? I don't know. Maybe not. But it seems lonely. I thought about it. About the audience clapping. About Rebecca Chen's offer. About Jordan and Derek and Marina in the front row. It's not lonely. I have people here. People who showed up. But they're still your family. Biology isn't family. Showing up is family. That night, someone posted a video of my talk on LinkedIn. Tagged me. Tagged the conference. Within hours, it had 300 views. One of those views was my mother. She called the next morning. I saw your talk. Someone from church shared it. Okay. Alex, that was incredible. You spoke to 2,000 people? About that many. And they listened. They took you seriously. That's kind of the point of speaking at a conference, Mom. Why didn't you tell me? There it was. The same question. 3 years later. Because you would have made it about you. You would have told everyone. Made it a big thing. I wanted it to just be what it was. Which is? My work. My accomplishment. Not a family photo op. Silence. Then, is that really what you think of us? That we'd make it about ourselves? Yes, because that's what you've always done. That's not fair. Mom, when I made VP, you called to ask why I didn't tell you. Not to ask about the job, not to ask what it meant, just why you weren't told. Because we care. You care about being included. That's not the same as caring about me. More silence. I could hear her breathing, trying to find words. Emma's been seeing a therapist, she said finally. Did you know that? Yeah. She told me some of what they've talked about how we treated you, about the assumptions. I didn't want to believe it at first, but watching that video, seeing you up there, I realized she was right. Okay. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to be the mother you needed. You can't. That time is gone. So what do we do now? I looked out my office window, watched the city move below, people going to work, living their lives, moving forward. We start being honest. We stop pretending the past didn't happen, and we see if there's something worth building in the present. I'd like that. So would I. But Mom, I need you to understand something. I'm not the kid who needed your approval anymore. I'm not waiting for you to notice me. I've built a life, a good one, with or without you. I know. Do you? Because you keep acting like I owe you access to my achievements, like I should report in and get your blessing. I just want to be part of your life. Then be part of it. Show up, ask questions, but don't expect me to perform for you. Okay, I can try. That's all I'm asking. We hung up. I didn't feel triumphant, didn't feel vindicated, just tired and honest, which was better than the alternative. That afternoon, Rebecca Chen emailed. Wanted to schedule a call about the COO position. Mentioned the salary range. $750,000 to $1 million, depending on experience and equity structure. I stared at the number. $750, base. That was nearly double what I made now. I forwarded the email to Jordan. Their response came back immediately. Holy cow, are you interested? Maybe, probably, I don't know. Let's talk tonight. We did. Talked for 3 hours. About the opportunity. About what it would mean. About whether I was ready. About whether we wanted to stay in this city or move. What do you want to do? Jordan asked. I think I want to take the call. See what they're offering. See if it's real. And if it is, then we decide together. I'm good either way. You know that, right? You've earned this. Whatever you choose. I scheduled the call. Had 3 interviews over 2 weeks. Met the board, toured their offices, asked hard questions, got honest answers. They made an offer. $800,000 base. $200,000 signing bonus. Equity package that could be worth millions if the company went public. I accepted. Put in my notice at Nextech. My team threw me a party. My boss, the CEO, told me I'd been the best VP they'd ever had. We're going to miss you, but I'm proud of you. That meant more than any family praise ever could. I didn't tell my family until after my last day. Just posted a simple update on LinkedIn. Excited to announce I'm joining DataStream Solutions as Chief Operating Officer. Looking forward to this next chapter. The responses flooded in. Colleagues, mentors, Derek, Emma, people who'd watched me build this career. Mom called. COO, that's one step below CEO. Yeah. When did this happen? I've been interviewing for the last month. You didn't tell us. No, I didn't. Why? Because this is mine. My choice. My accomplishment. I don't need to run it by you first. I'm your mother. And I'm an adult, a successful one, who makes my own decisions. She was quiet. Then, I'm proud of you. Even if you don't want to hear it. I do want to hear it. But not as an obligation. As something you feel because you actually know what I've accomplished. I'm trying to know you. I watch your LinkedIn. I read articles about your company. I'm trying. I know you are, and that matters. We talked for another 20 minutes about the new job, about my plans, about what COO actually meant. She asked real questions. I gave real answers. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest, and that was enough. Derek took me out for drinks to celebrate. 800,000. Jesus. Plus bonus, plus equity. You're going to be a millionaire. I kind of already am, between investments and stock options. He shook his head, laughing. Remember when Uncle Jim asked if you were still in retail? I remember. What would you tell him now, if he asked? I thought about it. About that Thanksgiving, about the business card, about the shocked faces. I'd say I'm doing fine, and leave it at that. Not rub it in? What's the point? He wouldn't understand anyway. He'd just see the salary and the title, not the work, not the years, not what it cost. What did it cost? Relationships I'll never get back. Family dinners I'll never attend. A decade of being invisible. That's the price of proving them wrong. Was it worth it? I looked at him. At my cousin who'd shown up, who'd changed, who'd become actual family. Yeah, I think it was. 3 months into the COO role, I'm thriving. Building systems, leading teams, making decisions that affect thousands of people. My family knows what I do now. Some of them are proud. Some of them are confused. Some of them are still figuring out how to talk to me. Derek and I still have coffee monthly. Emma and I text more. Mom calls every few weeks. It's not perfect, but it's real. And sometimes, real is better than perfect. Because the lesson I learned isn't about success or money or titles. It's about this. People will see what they want to see until you force them to look closer. I spent 5 years being invisible while building something remarkable. And when they finally noticed, it wasn't because I needed them to. It was because I'd become impossible to ignore. That's the real victory. Not the salary, not the title, but becoming someone who succeeds regardless of who's watching.